Here we are. We're back, and we got a mouse pad video for you guys. It is our Kanami special, and I got 3 special pads to talk to you about. We're not gonna go too crazy in depth with some of them. Well, we're not gonna go too crazy in depth in all of them, but we will talk about them for sure. And I'll give you my thoughts on them, same as I always do. I'll keep it real, as I always do. And disclaimer, I bought all of these with my own money. So there is no shilling or glazing, as the kids call, because I got this all with my own money. So I'm always going to keep it real with y'all. Welcome to the Kanami special. We have 3 pads in play for you that I've tested out over the month and a half. While it's testing other pads, we have the Kanami Plus collab. We have the Kanami Naifu. And we have the Kanami Yuna. I'll probably be repeating myself in this video, but to let you all know, these are all 490 by 420 in size. So that's the same throughout the pads. The only thing that's different, 2 are cloth, 1 is a glass pad. These are 2 different surfaces and very, very different artwork on all of them. All appeasing to the eyes. I will rank them at the end of the video. I will give you my ranking on that. Right now they're in no particular order, but this is more or less what the rankings look like from worst to best. So let's crack straight into it. We have the Kanami Plus collab here that came out maybe a few months ago after the Yuna. The Yuna came out in January. This one probably came out in about April because we're about to be in August. Now, the only problem that I had with the Kanami Plus pad is the feeling of it. It was way too muddy and way too control-y for me. It was like it's hard control, a hard control surface with a lot of stopping power back into it. But one thing that can change this from a super muddy feeling mouse pad is if you get yourself some skates. I'm using the LA1 right now with cyclones on them. And if you see right here, I said it's a control pad, but there's a lot of spin action on this. And that's only because of the cyclones. Now I have used my Mini Beast X on it, which has the TJ plastic skates on them. Now, these aren't really meant for cloth pads. They're really meant for glass pads. But they give you a lot more stopping power than your average skates. Now, if you do have the strawberry mouse, these skates kind of glide on everything for whatever reason. I don't know what they use on these skates. But this is probably the only ones that still have a high speed feel to it than a control feel to it. On stock skates, it is the ultimate control pad for sure in the Kanami lineup. Now, one thing that I did like about the Kanami pad is the artwork. The artwork reminds me of like this little Uzi Vert type vibe from one of his albums. And then as you can see, it has this little character right here in the corner. Reminds me of a Moogle from Final Fantasy / Kingdom Hearts. So the artwork is definitely something cool in that aspect. The stitching is done right. It has a polyester surface with a PU soft base. I did have a little bit of problems with the base. It was slipping a little bit, but I've been testing it out in about 80 to 90 degree weather out here in New York, and it stuck during the heat. But since I got an AC, everything has been kind of slipping and sliding. So I've made the heat with the little bit of coldness, it might slip a little bit. Other than that, I kind of really liked it just for the aesthetic and the artwork. I didn't really like the feeling on it at all. Just way too controlly for me. But everything else is done right for the most part. Maybe they could have done a pour on base to make it stick more because it does slide a little bit. Not their best work, but the collab was nice, and I got it. So that's all I care about. And the box didn't come with any extra artwork or any pieces to it. Nothing to show that it's exclusive or limited edition. Now, let's move on to the Kanami Naifu, which is a hybrid speed pad. This is absolutely my favorite, one of my favorite speed pads in terms of art, and possibly in my number 3 spot of speed pads because I have 2 others. As far as artwork though, it's definitely on top. It has a pour-on rubber back, which is different. The pour-on rubber back definitely helps with the sticking in cold and in heat. This thing hasn't moved since I used it when I was testing it out. I absolutely love the feeling of it. It's definitely a hybrid speed pad. You get a lot of the speed going, I feel, up and down than you do left to right, because when you're going left to right, you can kind of feel the texture that is ingrained within this pad. But I also have to keep in mind that I bought this pad used, and even though it is in great condition, I don't know how long or how much it's been used. So just keep that in mind with this as well. Other than that, the pad itself is great. Speed for sure comes from the left and right. Like I said, you can feel it, and the up and down, you can feel it. You can feel the speed overall, and the stopping power is definitely there. But I think it leans more towards the speed side than it does the stopping power side, which is what I love about it. And the artwork is just a plus. Now, I don't know if it seems like it is to you guys, but it may seem faded on this top right. But that could either be the artwork or because I bought it used. And I'm glad that the artwork doesn't like have this lining, because there's some pads that I've seen and felt at like your local micro center or your local electronics store, where the artwork will have this outline of the black kind of pop out a little bit, so you'll kind of feel it when you're going back and forth on the mouse pad. This don't have a problem with that, which is great. I do plan on putting this back on my desk once I'm done reviewing all the mouse pads that I have. This is going to definitely be hitting the rotation on my desk. I'm really excited because a lot of these mouse pads, if people don't want them, they'll go ahead and sell it for like 120, 130. And I got this on a really good deal from AkaiMice on Twitter. So that's AkaiMice. You can look him up on Twitter. He's an enthusiast. I don't know if he's still in the game. I think he took a little bit of a break, but there's a shout out for him. Overall, great pad. I'll give you my ratings at the end too. Now, the Yuna is a relatively new pad that came out in January. If you know the date, you know my birthday, January 26th. It came out, and that's one of the reasons why I bought the mouse, because I wanted the mouse pad. I wanted to get the mouse pad for my birthday. I wanted to buy it as a birthday gift for myself. And luckily enough, I got it. And this mouse pad has been nothing short of greatness. I loved and still love this mouse pad. The same situation with the Naifu. I will be putting this glass pad back on my desk. It is 490 by 420 with a 3.5 millimeter thickness. And this also has a different base. It says Kanami in the middle. And this has a silicone base, which definitely lets it stick to your desk at all costs, which is great. So you get no moving on this. Now, the glass pads that I can compare this to, that I do have, are the SkyPad and their Aimers Pulsar mouse pad, the collab that they did many months ago. Now, the big difference between both the pads is the surface. This is a very smooth, clear coat surface, whereas the SkyPad 3.0 and the Aimers Glasspad collab had this grainy, matte texture to it. Something that I couldn't really get behind, and it felt weird on stock skates. All I've been using was stock skates since back then. Around this time, I have newer skates. With this one, I did test out the TJ Plastic skates, which the TJ Plastic skates tell you to wear the skates down a little bit before you see some type of change, which is true. They were louder on this mouse pad than before. They're still kind of loud, but they give you the stopping power that you need. And I'm going to be looking for more skates to give me a little bit more speed and less noise. But TJ Plastics are definitely the way to go. The surface is nice and smooth. There's no grainy, matte texture to it, which keeps it nice and smooth all the way through. Now, the artwork is absolutely something amazing to look at. As always, all Kanami products have the most amazing artwork on them, and I love it. It's also numbered here, which I also love the little addition of the number. Mine says 242, and it came with a sticker, which we all love stickers. And to be honest, this is probably the best glass pad that I've felt to date. I don't have the Akari mouse pad. I don't have the Blue Empress mouse pad. I don't have those. But for the reviews that I have seen for those mouse pads, I feel like this one is probably going to be some big competition for those if you'd have this mouse pad. Because with Konami, they all do limited drops. People can only get but so much of this before it's sold out completely. And then we have the Kazime popping up, which I also have coming in tomorrow. So I'll be able to compare that a little bit to this when I do get that. But for right now, this is taking the number one glass spot, in my opinion, because this is the only one that's felt right to me besides the other two. I have found absolutely nothing wrong with this mouse pad, and I intend to put this back on my desk in similar fashion with the Naifu. Other than that, I have about nothing else to say about these pads. I don't have anything bad to say. The only one that I guess you can consider bad is the Konami Plus, which is that very, very muddy feeling. Like, it's so slow. And I do not like that. I do not like slowness in my mouse pad. At least that much slowness. If it would have had a little bit more texture to it or something that make it glide a little bit easier without the need of some cyclones, then I would praise it a little bit more. But the only thing that I like it for is this artwork, which they hit on the spot for me if they were going down the route that I said, which is the little Uzi and the Mughal. Other than that, that's pretty much it for our Kanami special. Everything has been beautifully done with all the pads as far as stitching, as far as artwork. Some of the bases, the base for the Kanami Plus could have been a little bit better. I do like the pour-on rubber back on the Naifu. It lets it stick, and I love the silicone backing on this because again it lets you stick, and you won't get any movement from it, which is great. I got a little bit of mouse pad movement from the Plus pad. So there is some slight problems with the Plus pad, but nothing that could deter me from saying that it's like something trash, because it's by any means not trash. Because I know a lot of people that like control pads, and that one, in my opinion, is probably somewhere up there in control, like top 10 at least. And I've used it all with Cyclones, Yanzi S Tigers, and TJ Plastics and regular stock skates. So they've been through some testing, and it's been cat approved as well. My cat loves it. But thank you, y'all, for pulling up. It is now time. I just dropped my fucking mini B-Stacks. Thank you for pulling up. It's time to pull out just like my fucking mini B-Stacks just did. Keep on the lookout for my next videos. I have the HTR video coming out and the Final Mouse Asu review coming up as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Again, thank you for pulling up. It's now time to pull out. Holla at your boy.